Hey, Phil from Got Memories here. Continuation of another video of mistakes I'm making, okay, with fatigue. As I mentioned in the other video, I've been gone for a month, closed up for a month during the summer here in Phoenix. It's atrocious, so I get out with my son. So anyway, I'm back. I've been back a couple of days. I'm jet lagged, and I've been trying to push out some work. And then you hit a threshold of like just confusion with all, not so much confusion, but you've got all this media, all individually tagged, all numbered, you've got players, machines, things are acting up, and then you're getting tired, but you just push through. I've been jet lagged. And then I've come in early this morning, and I'm, collecting these tapes. I just did a video on a tape that I caught some mistakes on this particular job because I was tired. So I've got first and last initials of the customers' names and of customers' first and last. I'm even tired right now. But I dragged over the wrong files to the wrong folder. So this is how common it can happen. I know what I'm doing. But when you've got all these sweatshop companies that are just like hiring and firing and, trying to keep track of all this media, and people get other people's stuff back, it's lost, it's mixed up, and even for the best of us out there that are doing this correctly with OCD, just precision and everything, you've got it's like I'm going to say I'm an air traffic controller, but I am an air traffic controller. When they got to take breaks or else, things happen. I hit a point of jet lag about 3 o'clock yesterday. I was like, but let me finish this extra job. Normally, you got to remind yourself to shut everything down because you start to cause more problems for yourself on the back end. And I'll show you what I'm dealing with right now. All of these tapes have got like stickered numbers. Customers put them, in the sequence they wanted them. So I'm going down the list and I'm collecting. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Where's 15? And then there's 2 16s. And it's like, okay, is 16, 15, 15, 16? I don't know. And then there were a couple more. So then I looked over in another job. I found the files I'd put in the other folder. I have all these safety nets, to catch things. I don't have any issues. I've got, the best reviews and stuff. But I'm just saying that even for, veterans doing this, so to speak, you got to know when you're tired because mistakes do happen. So if you can imagine if I'm catching it before the customer gets anything, but there's other things as well. Like I caught number 8 right here. So I'm going to check the content. I just rewound it. And so it's like this baby, okay, with a little hat on. Okay, there we go. Baby with a hat on. That's mixed. That is correct. So, even though I'm going to make sure all of this stuff is just like, yeah. And then I'm going to take all the data from the labels. Thankfully, these are all typed out so I can read them. A lot of them I can't read. And you're making sure the tape number matches this, matches that. It's a lot to keep track of, even for, me that I know what I'm doing. But you've got to know if you're doing this yourself or if you're doing this with a company or if you're looking around for a video transfer company, you've really got to know. But for those out there doing this and you get tired and you keep pushing, I guarantee you mistakes are going to happen. And I know I'm very well disciplined in this, but because I've just been a bit jet lagged from being away for quite a while, getting back into it. And also that's another thing, when you're away from this for a while and you get back into it, you've got to get that groove and that flow back. And it usually does take me about a week to get my flow back. In between catching up with all the work and, calls and emails and all that stuff on top of it. And as I mentioned in the other email, Samantha, who works for me part-time, she's fantastic. But even she was pushing, she was doing some jobs when I was gone. And she doesn't touch videotapes normally. She just does film. But there were a couple tapes in a group of film reels and this and that. And she did them. And then I caught them yesterday before they went out, and they were some of them were a little staticky here and there, and I'm like, no, I got to redo these. And I redid them, I restored it where it's all clean and clear. I'll show you here if you haven't already seen it in the other video. But it's not only keeping track of all the files, keeping track of quality control with video and audio, and also asset management of the tapes and making sure the files match up with the numbers and then the details in the description, etc. But this is what I'm talking about. So this is a redo, and I saved the bad and the redo for Sam to like show her mistake. You know, I used to have loads of staff back in the day, so I know this whole like, you know, process of teaching and training and all that stuff. But I don't deal with that anymore because I only have Sam. She does with film. But this little videotape job that she did, and she knows what she's doing. And she's been digitizing videos herself for her own little business for years. And I'm like, yeah, this is not acceptable. Like, something's going on here. And this is what I redid. And then, as you can see, as you can't just scan through the video, you know, it's all jumpy and just, you know, it's just, yeah, something was going on with the player, the tape, whereas it's nice and stable here. So just to show you, you know, even when you've got trained staff that know what they're doing, you know, you've got to check their work, and then they get upset and go, oh, what? Or they might get attitude. You know, remember that back in the day? Yeah, so this is just a human nightmare. All of this shizzle. Anyway, all right, guys. Cheers, bye.